The city is this mixture of sci-fi and fantasy, and I never worked in that genre before, so I was excited.
It's based on a novel that I really enjoyed, which was by China Mieville, and his body of work is fantastic. The two worlds, how they've been realized, is magnificent, I think.
It's so intricate in its story, and yet so visual, and there is literally a location within a location, and how are we going to see that visually?
It was such a fascinating process trying to work out and evolve a visual style for City in the City. It couldn't be a big, dazzling, sci-fi, CG, spectacular, because I felt it was so clearly about a very human phenomenon. It had to feel real.
For a cameraman or DOP, it's fantastic challenge to have to be involved in sort of creating the cinematic language, to create a world that doesn't exist, or actually create two worlds.
I've never seen a camera department work like that and trying things out like that. I love the fact that it's shot in CinemaScope, and I think it will have a real cinematic appeal.
Tom's extraordinary. He's had to be so laser focused in this because we are jumping from worlds and times and flashbacks and realities and people's perspectives. That attention to detail has been absolutely vital. It's those little nuances and subtleties that the audiences hopefully will really pick up on or even subconsciously pick up on, for them to really be able to follow the story, because it's a complex story.
The two cities were different in several ways. Pre-fall of the Berlin Wall, the starting point for Beijel. Ulcoma, kind of rather than just going super modern with it, I thought it would be maybe more interesting to kind of still keep it a little bit retro and maybe kind of do a sort of postmodern Russia when the oligarchs started sort of appearing and their economy was beginning to shift. Beijel is all tungsten light and much warmer, and Ulcoma is sort of more of a neon look and LED. In Beijel they speak English, or a version of English, we've decided, and then in Ulcoma they speak this language called Ilitan. So we had a language advisor devise a language for us.
Both cities, or both parts of one city, are not like geographically divided like Berlin. Both populations have learned to unsee the other ones.
The children are indoctrinated into a kind of sort of pathological psychology of unseeing the city that happens to be living right simultaneously next door to their own.
When you unsee, it's kind of whatever you've been taught from birth, you reverse all of that in one moment.
China Mieville has this term cross-hatching, which is where these streets from each city butt up against each other. The proximity is at its most kind of acute and intense.
There is a real strong security outfit called Breach, which mandates this discipline.
I felt like Breach were like the Illuminati. They're untouchable, they're above the police force, they're above the government.
You don't know who they are, what they look like. You will be whisked away and may never be seen or heard of again.
I think Tony's done a wonderful interpretation of China's novel.
We do play with time scale a lot. We play with different memories and stuff which take me personally back into my past.
He came up with one fantastic storyline which gave Borlu this incredibly rich, emotional love story. That was a kind of a massively important part of Tony's soul in the scripts, which so I kind of felt as passionate about being true to Tony's story as I did to China's novel.
You can watch this piece and then you can go and read the book, and you've got two incredibly rich portraits of story that inhabit the same world but are uniquely individual. I still can't wait to see how this is going to be put together.
Here we go!
3, 2, 1, via!